Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Close the door.
I'd like to get the meeting started. I'm Sam Hoyt. I will be pinch hitting for our chairman, Robert Joya, this morning, who's unable to participate. And I'd like to welcome everybody to today's meeting. I want to now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation for Monday, June 8th, 2015. I'd like to note for the record that this meeting is being webcast. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. Consistent with the policy of our parent corporation, we welcome public comment on the items on the following agenda. After each item is presented and any comments are received from the directors, we will allow members of the public to provide comments. All comments should be limited to 2 minutes and should only address the item that is under consideration. Before we begin with the substantive...
Yeah, your video feed is on.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm sorry about that. Can you still see Mr. Ginsburg? Okay. Okay.
Yes, Gary. We got Gary back. Can we get Mr. Collin's hold this? Just hit the one item.
Thank you. Are we back?
Yeah.
Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I'd like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any items on today's agenda. Hearing none, the foregoing have been noted for the record. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes of the directors' meeting of October 15th, 2014. I have a motion to approve.
Can I just make one correction?
Yes.
In the present list, they have Chris Falls, F-A-L-Z. I think that should be Chris Fahey from Congressman Higgins' office. It's just a point that I think is Falls that works there.
No, good point. We will correct that.
2801.
Mr. Fahey appreciates your attention to that. Any other comments about these minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval, please. So, Mr. Colligan, seconded by Mr. DiVirgilio. All in favor?
Thanks. Perfect. Thanks a lot.
The motion carries. Tom D. will now present a request for authorization for the corporation to enter into a contract for construction services in connection with the Central Wharf extension. Tom.
Thank you, Sam. A little background. April 2011, we constructed what we called the temporary extension of the boardwalk, which was really our first venture into public access along the water. We're thrilled with that success, and we always knew that in the long term we were going to take that asphalt and create a continuation of the wood wharf. We hired Parsons Brinckroffer back in October of 2011, and then in March of 2012 we retained Herbert Darling to do the seasonal dock extension, which opened in May of 2013. So continuing the trend of the incremental improvements and changes, ECHCC now seeks authorization to enter into a contract with the Scott Lawn Yard Incorporation to provide construction services for the construction of the Central Wharf Extension Phase 2 Boardwalk Extension. This project will replace over 500 linear feet of temporary asphalt boardwalk at Canalside with new wooden boards. In addition to that, we'll change the chain link fence, the temporary chain link fence that's in place, to replicate what's on the historic Central Wharf itself. We'll basically be doubling the sand area. We'll be screening in the pump station, beginning the back of a house at Clinton's Dish, the parking and biking upgrades at Main Street at the Skyway Pier, replace damaged wood plank. Existing grass will be upgraded. So there's a lot of things that are in this contract, and it's been in the plans for a while, and we're thrilled to do it as another incremental improvement. The contractor selection process, we advertised April 28, 2015, and we basically got 3 bids. ECHCC and Parsons Brinckroffer, who are our consultants, interviewed the 2 lowest bidders, and it was a recommendation of our consultant to award the contract to Scott Lawn Yard Incorporated, was found to be the lowest responsible bidder. So from a scope of work standpoint, we've talked about that. It's a lot of work that they're doing. And we did sit with contractors, so we're comfortable if they can do the project. They seem to have a lot of work on the books right now, comparable type projects. Confident with that. The project is slated to begin October 15th to be completed by April 29, 2016. Effectively means it's off-season work, so while canal side, while the boardwalk, while the summer activities wane down, this construction will heat up, and then we kind of move all of our activities over onto the odd block for the ice skating while this construction work is happening. Funding sources are New York Power Authority, and the minority component with a 25% minority and women-owned business, and this contract will hit 61%, so we're happy with that. So basically, the requested action that the directors are requested to make determination of responsibility with respect to the proposed contractor, authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Scott Lawn Yard Incorporated, not to exceed $1,556,000 plus a 10% contingency for a total contract amount of $2,152,000 and take all related action. Based on the foregoing, I recommend approval of the requested actions.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions or comments from directors? David?
I just want to make sure that the signage that we're getting is going to be adequate to direct people to, first of all, we don't have any greenway signage at all at the canal side. I've heard that from several sources. And also, we do not have a good wayfinding to get to the Ohio Street Parkway now. That's opening up, and this improvement will bring a lot of people interest closer to the Ohio Street Parkway because this will be extending in that direction. So I would strongly recommend that we, when we do the sign, make those two points of interest better wayfinding for people that are new to the area because there's so many new people down there. They all tell me they didn't know how to get to these other places. So
Excellent point.
Any other comments from members? Any comments from the public? All right, I will now entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Mr. Colligan, seconded by Mr. DiVirgilio. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Lastly, I'd like to call on Tom to give the president's report. Let me just say before Tom does that, when did we meet last as a board?
A month ago.
There's been an awful lot going on, very exciting progress being made, a great start to the summer, and I always attempt to do. Got a terrific staff at Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation. They're working very hard and it's paying dividends, and I want to thank them for their hard work.
Thank you. We had a great start to the summer. Basically, we're hitting out of the park as far as I'm concerned. Key highlights, kickoff of the Boardwalk Carnival, 25,000 attendees. Hit the summer low, 6,000 attendees. Matt and Kim concert, 15,000 attendees. The Queen City Bike Ferry, and the list goes on. Over the weekend, Canal Side unveiled the two newest additions, Every Kid's Tugboat at the beach, the ECC Urban Garden at Maine and Hanover. The two new assets are examples of the many community partnerships Canal Side is developing to be more enjoyable and educational things to do at Canal Side. We're thrilled by Buffalo's huge response to events at Canal Side, looking forward to even more excitement in days to come. From the programming standpoint, we're accepting vendor applications for the 5 vendor kiosks that are located at the canal. The applications can be found on our website, which is canalsidebuffalo.com. Upcoming event highlights. First off, I'd go back and say visit canalsidebuffalo.com for information on events. There are sometimes up to 15 events on any given day, and so get on that website, take a look what day you want to come down and see what activities are happening. It really is there's a lot of energy. Street family, children, fitness, live music, daily history tours. The free Thursday concerts will run through August 20th. The second Buffalo photo shoot will happen on June 14th. We're happy to let you know all the ECHCC now we're also happy to let you know we have a new summer intern. And Gopos is assisting ECHCC staff in several summer activities. Just like to highlight that because he's a new member with us, and we're thrilled to have him. Out of Harbor and Buffalo River, we have excitement there to report as well. programming and events scheduled from May to October. All the programming events have been diligently led by Chris Gattenzaro and our friends from ASI. It is found on www.asiwny.org. CHBC Projects and Point Space Theater, Festival, City of Night, BTO at Wilkinson Point, docent tours, Sky's the Limit, yoga classes, family activities, and much more. So kayak launch at Wilkinson Point is another exciting thing that happened out there. Greenbelt pedestrian trail extension to Furman Boulevard is underway with a completion scheduled by July 4th. Big connectivity with Canal Side to the Queens Street Bike Ferry. Design and planning and construction update. City Bike Ferry. Bike Ferry itself is in function, as everybody knows. It's a huge success. We had 5,000 riders up until this weekend, and I think 3,400 past weekend. So that's a boatload of people. Bike Ferry, Outer Harbor improvements. Kickoff meeting was held last week. Talk about the improvements on the other side. We'll have more benches, Outer Harbor maps with places of interest, signage, events, a schedule, shade structures, ticket kiosks will all be in play. Extension of the Central Wharf, we talked about that. Green elevator lighting. If you notice, you'll see work going on. The lighting installation is in progress. Ready for a spectacular show in the fall. The Ohio 3/4 in the last month of construction with bike path, landscaping, and signage being installed by the July. So in closing, expectations, it's turning out to be the most spectacular summer in Canal Side and our city's waterfront. Stay tuned to our Facebook page and canalsidebuffalo.com for day-to-day updates about events at Canal Side. We highly appreciate the public's response so far. We hope everyone to continue to enjoy your summer. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Before we wrap up, I want to ask if any of my colleagues have any comments or questions that they'd like to offer at this time.
I'd just like to note for the record that if you're heading to southeastern County or Wyoming County, you might want to stay put because there's a tornado warning for the area, severe storms present in that area. I did. I think city stay here for a while.
Thank you. Michael, do you have something?
Yeah, that's a preface. What I'm saying, I've been cycling Outer Harbor for well over a decade or more, and so I've personally witnessed that transformation. It's very exciting. And just with the bike ferry, I can see the volume of cyclists. So I just would like to, for us to further, in line with what Dave is saying, but further promote bike safety in that culture, whether through signage or some rules with the pathways, passing on the left, pedestrians to the right. Certainly encourage the use of helmets. The Outer Harbor, and it's a much different interface with vehicular traffic. You have folks coming off Route 5. So I'd like us to continue that, kind of boost that cycling culture and put a strong emphasis on cycling safety out there. So.
That's a very good point, and I know Chris Catanzaro's here and other Erie Canal Harbor staff. We can work with GoBike and some of our partners to make sure that we're accomplishing that. With success that we've seen comes challenges and responsibilities, and I think you're emphasizing the responsibility to do it right, educate people about proper procedures, et cetera. So, well-taken point that we will respond to. Any other questions or comments? Again, Tom, thanks for the President's report. Now there being no further business, I will call for a motion to adjourn this meeting. So moved. By Mr. DiVirgilio, second by Mr. Culligan. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.